Hi, Andrew Bell here with you as we now move into the final days of November and just about the last month of the year. Now, November has proved to be an interesting month with a number of events influencing the marketplace. On the supply side of the market, stock levels of available properties for sale remain tight, although there has been an increase in the number of Gold Coast properties where owners are making preliminary inquiries about putting their property on the market. We certainly expect to see some higher levels of volumes of stock available moving into 2016. On the other side of the coin, and that is the buyer activity, you might recall early in the year they talked about how important consumer confidence was to the real estate market and how consumer confidence is very reactionary, almost instantaneously, to events that receive a lot of media attention. Now, there's a lot of attention in November focused on the significant slowing in the Sydney and Melbourne markets, and in particular, our number one market being Sydney. The media follow their usual pattern of over-dramatising the reality. Yes, beyond question, the market has finally slowed in Sydney, but there still remains a massive number of sales occurring on a weekly basis, and there's no sign of prices having corrected. What has flowed is the volume of buyers in the marketplace, reducing somewhat, and the speed of sale. However, the reports that you read say that the market has now turned and there's speculation about what will be happening going forward. We've also, of course, had the tragic events of Paris, which have consumed our TV and print news. Watching and reading the news, you cannot have anything other than a negative effect on our sense of security. The third major news is that the APRA regulations are now clearly showing less volumes of investor buyers, simply because the new regulations are preventing them from doing so. The intention of the regulation was always to reduce the number of investment buyers in the marketplace and to give home buyers a stronger position in the marketplace and take some heat out of the market. Not surprisingly, the volume of buyers about in November was down on previous months, although the strength of those buyers that are in the marketplace remain very strong. That is, that they have the capability of buying and they have very clear intent to buy. Sales continue to tick along at a healthy level here on the Gold Coast. So what's going to happen going forward? Well, fundamentals always drive the market. And the reality is we continue to record low interest rates, unemployment is improving, population continues to grow, housing affordability is the best it's been in a mighty long time, and even the Reserve Bank, lo and behold, is starting to talk up our economy. People continue to need to live in houses or apartments, so the demand exists. And for investors, where else do you put your money? You get nothing in interest on bank deposits, and the stock market remains a very volatile place. We will see the continuation of demand in the real estate market, but it will get affected week by week by news that comes to hand, by what is an increasing phenomenon of breaking news stories. This breaking news concept is to grab our attention and make us feel a duty bound to be affixed to the TV channel or have a thirst for more print or digital news. So to keep us locked in, the stories have to be sensationalised. What we are already seeing emerging, and what will continue to emerge, is a shift of buyer interest into the major marketplaces of Queensland, which have not experienced the strong price growth that other major markets in Australia have. We are already seeing that now, with a very high proportion of our Gold Coast buyers at present coming out of Victoria in particular and the New South Wales marketplace. The fundamentals will continue to drive the market long after the breaking news stories of a month or two earlier have passed. Just quickly on another point, we are now well and truly in preparation for the event 2016. This is the biggest real estate promotion program held anywhere in Queensland, and most real estate commentators say Australia. With a record number of people visiting the Gold Coast in January, there is no question that the Gold Coast real estate market will receive the biggest audience of buyers in its history. Anyone thinking of selling in the first half of 2016 should not miss out on this opportunity. However, we are limited to the number of properties that can participate. We deliberately put a program together that has a great variety, ranging from 1 and 2 and 3 bedroom apartments through to houses of all sizes and shapes, including all price brackets. We have properties from northern New South Wales through to the northern markets of the Gold Coast and out to the hinterland. And of course, we also have our boats for Ray White Marine. So if you are thinking of selling, give us a call on 1800 198 009 and at least get to understand what the event is all about and see whether it's right for you. The event has been an iconic event on the Gold Coast for over 20 years has resulted in thousands of sales in that period of time. Our contact details are on screen, and don't hesitate to contact us as soon as you can, because the closing date for bookings is fast approaching. And we would be thrilled and honoured to look after you and ensure your property gets the best result. Well, that's it for this fortnight, and I look forward to being with you in 2 weeks and just a couple of days short of Christmas. Next time, I'll give you some interesting news on the activity of foreign investors on the Gold Coast in recent times. Best wishes for now.